Unprecedented scenes seen at the footsteps of the US Capitol, where armed rioters, mobsters, supporters of President Donald Trump laid siege to the Capitol building because they wanted to stop the formal certification of the election that Joe Biden won back in November of 2020. These kind of scenes have not been seen at the US Capitol since the 18th century, since the height of the Civil War, in the fight between the northern states and the southern states, and some of the southern states wanted to secede and form a separate country. As President-elect Joe Biden put it, this was bordering on sedition.
The words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is. At their best, the words of a president can inspire. At their worst, they can incite. Threatening the safety of duly elected officials, it's not protest, it's insurrection.
And make no mistake, this was actively fanned. The flames were lit and fanned by the US President Donald Trump. He was in fact speaking to these armed mobsters, this mob of his supporters, just an hour before we saw these chaotic scenes in which people were carrying guns. In fact, guns were drawn inside the chambers of Congress. There was one armed mobster who managed to make his way all the way to the Senate floor and occupy the seat that is the seat of the vice president who presides over the Senate. There were folks who were trying to barge into the House chamber as well, where the certification process was going on. Lawmakers had to duck for cover. They were asked to reach out for gas masks under their desks. These were the kind of scenes that you would think would be happening in some kind of a despotic country, somewhere in Africa or in the Middle East. But here was Donald Trump, President of the United States, the most powerful man on the planet, clinging on to power like a despot, like an autocrat, using violent means, using any means available to him just to cling on to power. And America goes around telling the rest of the world how democracy is the best form of government. It's used the excuse of democracy to even invade other countries in the past. But today, there was anarchy on the streets of America's capital. Now, what is expected to happen here on? There are folks in the Republican Party, Donald Trump's party, who are saying this is a fit case to invoke what is called the 25th Amendment. As per the 25th Amendment, a US president, a sitting US president, can be removed from office if he is deemed unfit for the job. Usually it happens in the case of, illness, either physical or mental, but clearly here is a president who has egged on a violent mob to take back an election that he feels and his supporters feel was stolen from him. Whereas the facts are to the contrary. He lost this election fair and square. He lost by 7 million votes to Joe Biden. And ultimately, the two people who have to take a call on this would be Mike Pence, the vice president, and Mitch McConnell, the floor leader in the US House, whether the 25th Amendment can be invoked. If they do choose to invoke it, then it means that Vice President Pence will become the president for a short period of 2 weeks, because on the 20th of January, you will have President Biden who will be inaugurated into office, and Vice President Kamala Harris will be inaugurated into office. The other option is to impeach. Remember, Trump has already been impeached, but he was not convicted by the Senate because his party, the Republican Party, controls the Senate. Again, there are members of the US Congress, members in the House Judiciary Committee, who feel that this is a fit case to impeach Trump once again and remove him from office, albeit that process is going to be lengthier than invoking Amendment 25. Here's the big challenge that faces America and the big challenge that faces the incoming president, Joe Biden. As far as America is concerned, they have to find a way to heal these divisions. Remember, many of these folks, there were tens of thousands of them at the footsteps of Capitol Hill laying siege to that building. They voted for Trump. Those folks are not going to go away. They're still there very much in different parts of the country. There are 70 million people who voted for Donald Trump. That is more than any Republican president or challenger has got in decades. So clearly the question before America is, how does it heal? How does it find time and space to try and heal these deep divisions, these pictures of violence that we've seen? The question before the incoming president is going to be this: can Joe Biden be that figure of unity? Can he bridge this deeply divided, deeply polarized country? Can he bridge this country and make it whole again? There's going to be a big question for Donald Trump as well. Where does he stop? And for his advisors, can they get through to him? A Donald Trump out of office could potentially be as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than a Donald Trump in office. There is already talk that he's going to launch his own sort of friendly media network, as it were, because the one existing big network that was considered friendly to him has gone a little quiet as far as support to Donald Trump is concerned since the election result. So what will Donald Trump do? What sort of signals will he send to his supporters? And at what point will those supporters stop? Because clearly, it was clear from the events of Wednesday that they're not going to stop. Even violence is not going to deter them. They're not going to stop, even if it means some kind of an armed invasion of the seat of power, as it were, in America, which is the US Congress.